All right, let's get into it. Today, we're going to unpack a story about friendship that, well, it seems really simple on the surface, but it's actually incredibly profound. It has a lot to teach us about holding on to those connections that really, truly matter. So just for a second, I want you to think back. Can you remember your first best friend? Like when you were a little kid, before life got, well, complicated. There was this purity to it, right? Just this simple acceptance. We're going to explore what happens to that feeling. And maybe, just maybe, how we can get a little bit of it back. Okay, so our story starts with, believe it or not, a lion and a tiger. They lived up in the mountains, and they were the absolute best of friends. And here's the thing that's so cool about it. They met when they were just little cubs, way too young to even know that lions and tigers were supposed to be different. So for them, their friendship wasn't weird at all. It was just their life. And the world they lived in was super peaceful. A lot of that tranquility, you could say, probably came from this gentle forest monk who lived nearby. He was a hermit, living this really quiet, simple life, and his presence just seemed to bring a sense of calm to that whole forest. But you know how it goes. One day, for some reason nobody can even remember now, these two best friends got into a really silly argument. It started out as nothing, just a small disagreement, but it just kept growing and growing until it was threatening to tear their whole friendship apart. So what was this big friendship-ending argument about? It was this. The lion was convinced that the cold weather comes when the moon is rising. When it's growing from a little sliver to a big full moon. But the tiger? Oh no. He was just as sure that the cold comes when the moon is waning, when it's shrinking from full back down to nothing. Both of them were absolutely 100% certain they were right. And of course, the argument got more and more heated. It got ugly. They even started calling each other names. But right then, in that moment, I think they both realized they were about to lose something incredibly precious. So they made a really smart choice. They decided to go ask the wise old forest monk. Surely he would know the real answer. And this is the real turning point of the whole story. The lion and a tiger go to the hermit. They bow to him respectfully, and they ask him to please settle this thing once and for all. So the monk just listens, super patiently, He thinks for a moment, and then he starts to speak. But what he says is not what they expected at all. He doesn't pick a side. Instead, he offers them a totally different way of seeing the whole problem. And here it is, the monk's simple, powerful piece of wisdom. He completely reframes their argument. He tells them it's not about the moon at all. He says it is the wind that brings the cold. Let's just break down his logic for a second, because it's brilliant. He explains that since the wind is what actually makes it cold, the chill can come anytime. When the moon is growing or when it's shrinking, the wind is the real cause. And because of that, well, you're both kind of right about what you've seen. And this is the most important part. It means that neither of you has to lose. Neither one is defeated. And then he hits them with the ultimate lesson. He tells them, look, being right or wrong, that was never the point. The most important thing, the only thing that really matters, is to live without fighting, to stay united, because unity is the best thing there is. And the lion and tiger, they got it. They understood. They thanked the monk and they went on their way, happy and still best friends. Okay, so this is a great story, but how does this ancient fable actually apply to us, to our lives? Well, it's a perfect mirror for a journey that pretty much all of us take. When we're kids, we're just like that young lion and tiger, open, accepting. But as we get older, something shifts, doesn't it? So why? Why do we lose that incredible openness? I mean, really think about it. As a kid, you'd make friends with anyone, right? You didn't care about their skin color, their religion, what their parents did. None of it mattered. Then we grow up, and as the story suggests, the world gets a little older. We start to see all these differences in philosophy, and culture, and background, and we use them to build walls and create distance. So, the big question is, how do we stop that from happening? How do we fight against that drift? Well, the monk's wisdom actually gives us a really clear roadmap. It breaks down into 3 key ideas for keeping those friendships alive and strong. All right, here they are. First, focus on unity. Just like the monk said, your connection is more important than your argument. Winning is temporary, but friendship can be for life. Second, see both sides. You have to remember that sometimes, like with the moon and the wind, there's a bigger truth out there, and both people might be seeing a piece of it. And number 3, preserve the friendship. Just don't let a stupid, senseless argument tear down something so important. So I'm gonna leave you with this one last thing to think about. Who is the lion to your tiger? Or the tiger to your lion? Who is that one person in your life whose friendship is worth so much more than being right? Because at the end of the day, remembering that, well, that just might be the most important thing of all.